Hey guys, Man from Rune here, back again with another faction overview. Today we'll be going over Dwarves, specifically the Erebor sub-faction, so let's hop right into it. Before I begin, I just want to say thank you so much recently for all the support on my recent videos, and all my videos. People seem really interested in the mod, and I think that's fantastic. I just think it's a cool mod, and I'm glad people enjoy what the content I produce, so let's go over Dwarves. So when you load in as dwarves, you have the fortress, and then in order to actually play, you got to pick a sub faction. So you got Eredluin, led by Thorn Oakenshield, and his company of dwarves from the Hobbit story. And then their unique trait is that the infantry units for Eredluin, the Eredluin dwarves, are faster than the other two dwarven sub factions. And then Iron Hills. Iron Hills is led by King Dain before he becomes the King of Erebor. You get a different sort of election of units, different heroes, and Iron Hills dwarves have bonus health and armor. And then the faction will be going over to Erebor. This is led by King Dain after he becomes King of the Dwarves or King Under the Mountain. You get King Dain, Gimli, Gloin, King Brand, so it's fairly close to the vanilla style dwarves. And I guess I'll just preface this by saying, regardless of which sub-faction you pick, all these spell powers work the same. I guess we'll go over them now. Get Rallying Call, self-explanatory, gives damage and speed to dwarven infantry units. Undermine, you just summon a mine anywhere. It generates resources. You can put units in and out of the mine. Dwarven Beer, it's just heal. Lone Tower, but with the dwarven tower. Final Stand, another buff. Alright, so allied units gain 40% armor, immune to knockback, and they slow down cavalry twice as much. We get Expedition to Khazad-dûm. This allows you to research some special upgrades at the forge, and allows you to recruit Khazad-dûm veterans from the barracks. Got Undermine Foundations. This is just a building disable in a fairly wide radius. Barrage, self-explanatory. Melonin. So this ability has two forms. If you get it without getting Army of the Passages, which is our first stage power, you summon Gandalf. And then if you summon it after you have the first stage power, you summon Celebrimbor. We have Army of the Passages. Of course, our first stage summon, you get elite dwarven units. You can summon the Vala Auli. You get Azagal and Telkar. We'll get that later. And then we get, for our tier 4s, we get the Aglarond Citadel. Kind of like the Citadel from Vanilla, but you can summon units from it. And the units from it are quite good. And then Earthquake, self-explanatory. Okay, so Erebor. The Fortress for the Dwarves is pretty much the same too, in terms of upgrades. You get the Fortress Banner decreases the cost of builders and heroes, and then heroes recruit a little faster too, and then it gives leadership to nearby units. Oh, we got the Siege Barrels, which is just provides healing. Forge Acquisitions upgrades our Axe Tower expansions. We get Oil Casks. This just allows you to damage units if they're right next to the fortress. You get Stonework. This significantly increases the armor of the fortress, and it gives it an additional 30% armor, and then you need it so you can unlock the Mighty Catapult. The Mighty Catapult just allows you to use this very strong catapult. Self-explanatory. And then for the expansions, we get, of course, our Axe Towers, the Catapult, the Dormitory, or the Hall expansion, which is like the dormitory for Arnor and Gondor. If you decommission units, you get a bonus. Bonus resources. And then, of course, we got the Wall Hubs. Okay, and then go over the buildings. So we got the Hall of Warriors. The cool thing about Dwarves is each Hall of Warriors has got a different flavor, depending on which kingdom you went with. And we got the Siege Works. Oh, I guess I kind of skipped over a building. The Exploration Workshop once you research the upgrade at the forge, you can build it, and then you can. I'll just show it later when we get to it. Speaking of the forge, we got our forge. Same in all factions. We can research all our upgrades here, and then when you get the expedition to Cause of Doom, you get the Mori's mining skills and the mithril armor. So we'll just buy these. Okay. Once you buy those, once you buy the Mori's mining skills, you can build this building, the Exploration Workshop. What this allows you to do is you build this, and then this allows you to build mines across the map. Typically, you can put it. You can build the mines at the edges of the map. You can also build them against some rocks, and you can always build them against mountains, and then they have kind of a radius or distance you gotta follow. And then these buildings, they work like tunnels, which I just noticed I skipped over. And they also generate about 6 times as many resources as a level 3 tunnel, depending on it depends on like the radius and a few other things. Usually it's about 5-6 times as much. And we got the tunnel, resource building, but just like the goblins, you can put units in it. Okay. We got our Forge Works. It's a little bit different between the kingdoms, but you do get Battle Wagon in each one, the Demolisher, and some form of catapult, and the ability to research Flaming Shot, so your catapults are stronger. And then for Erebor, the unique siege unit is the Siege Hammer, or the Earth Hammer. Excuse me. Alright. Earth Hammers, unique siege unit. They're okay. Kind of flavorful, and then they have like a unique effect, I believe. I don't really go for them, so this will be new for both of us. And then for dwarves, you get the Mausoleum. We'll build this up here, actually. Alright. Okay. So this has this is a multifunctional building. First off, it works off like a statue. Nearby units gain 75% armor. And then it also provides access to the Silmaril hero, which is Durin, the Deathless. And then also, you can also activate this the weather ability called Durin's Day. Kind of like Darkness. Allied units on the entire map receive 20% armor and 20% damage, but because it's dwarves, you also receive fear and terror resistance, and then it cancels out other weather abilities. The unique mini-base building for Erebor is the Dale Marketplace. This gives you access to the Manish units, or Dale units. Dale units. It can be upgraded with these buildings. The housing area gives you 3 additional buildings that generate resources. Militia House gives you another building which generates resources, and it allows you to recruit the Dale units and King Bran. Well, self-explanatory. Watchtower, self-explanatory, and also generates resources. Then you get the units in King Bran. Hearth, aka the Well, standard, heals units and heroes. Dwarven statue, not much difference here. Gives nearby infantry and cavalry units 25% armor damage. And then battle tower. It throws axes instead of shooting arrows, and it can be upgraded. And then wall hub, and then the fortress. So we shall go over the units first, and then we'll get over to the heroes. So as Erebor, you get guardians, just kind of your standard swordsman units. All the dwarven guardians gain they charge attack at level 2, where they knock back enemies, deal damage, gain a damage and speed buff. Get standard upgrades, but the Guardians for Erebor get a unique upgrade called the War Masks, where they cause enemy units to lose speed and damage if they are close. Yes, nearby enemy infantry and cavalry 25 damage and 25% speed. Oh, also the Erebor Guardians with just their default attack actually debuff buildings. Oh, and enemy units. Then we got the Phalanx. Kind of just standard pikemen. They get a porcupine formation and they get upgrades. I guess I'll just go over this now. The once you give a unit heavy armor, you can buy mithril armor, which basically just makes them even tankier. It's a armor upgrade on top of an armor upgrade, and the amount of armor you get from mithril armor is significantly better than the armor you get from heavy armor. And also your heroes can get heavy armor. Axe throwers.
Gather some axes, dwarves. Move it out.
So these guys, they throw axes. They're not archers, so they don't deal pierce damage. They actually deal slash damage, so kind of the same damage as these guys. They're just basically ranged swordsmen, which makes them incredibly good against spearmen. It makes them much stronger against buildings. But they are weaker against at range and against sniping heroes and flying units. The unique infantry unit for dwarves, your quasi-elite infantry unit, the Archon Guards. So they get an active ability at level 1 where they gain damage, knockback, resistance, and they can't be trampled. And then they ignore armor, enemy armor when they attack. And then they get all the standard upgrades.
What do you want with the small folk?
And then the heroic unit for dwarves is the Khazad-dûm veterans. They can be, once you recruit them, you can choose between 3 different weapons. You get the axe, deals more slash damage, so it's better just against normal units. You get the hammers, which deals more damage against buildings, and you get the Morningstar, which deals more damage against upgraded units, elite units, and heroes. And then once you pick a weapon, you can get either the shield, which gives them an armor upgrade, or you can give them the additional axe, which gives them even more damage. And then they get an active ability at level 2, an active ability at level 7. At level 2, they get the Stonewall, resistant to knockback, can't be crushed, and they slow down trampling units. And then level 7, Death Wish, kind of the same as the, what is it? The Urukai Death or Manslayers, I'm sorry. They gain 250% damage, but they lose armor. And then don't know why I built 2. Anyway, for the siege units for dwarves.
Where is the build site?
That is taking a second. You get the battle wagon.
We've got a wagon ready here.
So, all the battle wagons function similar. They get an oil barrel launch, so they kind of just. It's really good against swordsmen and archers. And then I think it sets the ground on fire. They can be upgraded with axe throwers, so it just adds these guys to the battle wagon.
Let's make a run.
And then, yes, I'll just build the other 2.
We got it covered.
This functions as your cavalry unit. It's got pros and weaknesses. It's got more health than your average cavalry unit. And being a single unit makes it easier to micro, but it will get insta-killed if you go near pikes. They can upgrade with a banner carrier, so it provides leadership. Or you can put a well on it. We got the Erebor catapults. This is different than the... oh no. This is just the Dwarven catapult. This is different. This is the same as Ered Luin, I think. Oh, no. Okay, these are different. The portrait is just misleading. Alright, so we get the Erebor catapults. These guys shoot 2 projectiles. They can get a barrel. They can launch oil barrels, which I believe is the same as the battle wagon, and then just standard or catapult abilities, bombard, halt, auto acquire, and then you can upgrade with flaming shots. And we get the Earth Hammer, the unique siege unit for Erebor. Oh, I just skipped over the Demolisher.
Straight from the Iron Hills.
Okay, so basically this guy creates an earthquake if you're near a building. That's his, that's the effect of him. So it creates a mini earthquake, and then I'm going to go back to the Demolisher. This is just a Dwarven battering ram, and it can be upgraded with mithril armor to make it even stronger. Now let's get over to the Dale units. We have Swordsman. These guys are faster than Dwarves, obviously, and you get 15 in a battalion, but they are not as tanky. And then they also get a march formation, which gives them speed but less damage. And they can also be equipped with heavy armor. They cannot receive mithril armor, though.
They may be near. Men of Dale, it is time.
Same with the pike. Same with the Dale Spearmen.
Form a wall. Back to the lines.
And then the Dale Archers.
Men of Dale. Pick up your bows,
These archers are very good. They get a special ability level 1. They fire an arrow. If it's targeted, or if it's used against a monster, that monster will actually just run away. And then they can get fire arrows and other upgrades. And then I guess we shall go over the Aglarond units. So this is the Aglarond Citadel. It's got three expansion plots. You can build the same expansions as you would on the fortress. And then you get, you can also put units in it. And then you get these guys. You get these guys called the Aglarond. You can get these guys called the Aglarond Hunters. Unupgraded, they function similarly to just normal archers. But if you upgrade them with the Forge Blades, they actually deal heroic damage with both their bow and their sword. And they can receive standard upgrades. Also, the Aglarond units have slightly more health than most of your Dwarven units. Yeah. So the Aglarond Spearmen, stronger than the average Dwarf Spearmen. They get a shield wall formation instead of a porcupine formation, so that's actually just better. And then they get the Pony Riders.
Stay together, explorers. Who called for some guardians?
And they can receive standard upgrades. Pony Riders, compared to most other cavalry units, I believe are slightly faster. And then also these guys, whoa. These guys actually do a lot of damage to buildings.
Forward. Keep up now.
So, that's it for units. I guess I can just show off these effects real quick. Before we get into the heroes. And then here's Gandalf. So we'll use this. We'll segue into heroes off this. So this is Gandalf that you summon off of Melanin. So when he comes out, he gets. I should have summoned him closer to some units.
Enemies are just ready to reveal himself.
So he's got 5 different abilities. This is basically a Wizard Blast. This he throws pine cones, explosive pine cones. this is a stun, causes units to cower in fear.
The old fortress is abandoned.
And then this is kind of like the Dragon Strike ability that I showed in Goblins. That's pretty cool. Also, this ability, the Pine Cones, he actually just, it lasts for like 10 seconds, I believe. And then it's this ability. This is kind of like a Word of Power, but I think it's a lot slower. Or a lot smaller. Yeah. Yes, it's just a Word of Power in a small radius that does fire. That deals fire damage. Alright, so let's go over the heroes. Let's start with Nori. So he just at level 1 he gives Scavenger. At also level 1 he gains 25% speed for 20 seconds, and I guess the areas he walks in, stealth units will be revealed.
You didn't have a choice. Maybe not, but we can try.
Throwing knife. This is just he throws a knife at someone. It does a little bit of damage. And then this ability, Ambush, is kind of the same ability as this, but it's just an AoE attack.
Maybe not, but we can try.
Actually, we're gonna recruit all these and just have them close by. Dwarves move slow, and tired of being slow.
Nobody understood the qualities of stone.
And then all Dwarven heroes in the Third Age, all Dwarven Third Age heroes for each of the sub factions, can be equipped with mithril armor, and basically it just gives them a significant, like a very significant armor upgrade.
Too many winters.
That's it. Like,
Ready by my beard at once.
let him stay there. Aye, it's east you come. Clean over the misty mountains and along the length of the grey mountains. And they knew that just the right sound can cause solid stone to split.
Oh, that's a teleport, and then he throws knives where he goes.
Well, this
All
is
right.
a day I'll not
That makes sense.
A fight? Where?
Okay, so
We did.
next
thing was a
is
gamble.
Gloin,
Luckily,
Gimli's
it paid off.
dad.
They can't hide from a
He gets Slam at level 1, which it does AoE damage, and it's really good against buildings.
quickly now.
It also knocks back enemies.
Can't stay here.
At level 3, he gains leadership specifically for siege units. At level 6, he gets a building disable. At level 10, he gets a Shatter Hammer, which is just kind of an earthquake, kind of just a strong AoE attack, I guess. It's pretty cool. And then he can get Mithril Armor. Then once he gets Mithril Armor, he gets a new ability where you can just summon a catapult.
The ring has been dropped. I'll stand by your side.
Next hero is Thorin III. This is King Dane's son. He has 2 planters of abilities. So here at level 1, he has a passive effect. Nearby Dwarven heroes gain experience 20% faster, and they have knockback resistance. At level 6, he gains a really powerful attack. Does a lot of damage to heroes. It knocks them back, and I think it has a little bit of AoE too. At level 10, he gains this ability called Iron Determination. So the passive effect is if he dies, he's just gonna fight on for like 10 or more seconds before actually dying. And then if he gives this, the active effect is you click on a Dwarven hero of Erebor. Doesn't work on the first stage heroes, but
Fight. Where?
any of these guys here in the hero
I'm
selection.
listening.
they gain 10% damage, and they also will have like go into like a last stand, I guess is the best way to say it.
Right away.
And then special thing about Thorin III for Erebor is he gains these runes which he can put on buildings. So for the first rune, basically makes a building. None of these runes can be used on fortresses, by the way, but any other buildings. So the first rune, you can make a siege, a weapon, or a building immune to all damage except siege damage. So basically, the only way they'll actually be able to kill a building is with catapults or battering rams, or if something else does siege damage, like some abilities do.
Ready.
And then the second ability, units by the fortress or by the building with the rune gain 50% armor. Third rune, all building or allies next to the building are healed, and then the last one, if you put it on a military building, the units recruit 50% faster. If you put it on a resource building, it produces 50% more resources. And these are permanent. These runes last forever, so you can put them on multiple buildings and get multiple benefits from them. And then once he gets Mithril Armor, he gains a new ability called Dwarves of Erebor, where he summons some very strong units. And then they last for 60 seconds. They aren't controllable though.
A fight.
And I think they just follow Thorin around.
Come here. This way.
Not really moving.
Ready. By my beard.
See 3 runes on it. Where's the last one?
I'm listening. March.
Don't know where it is.
Right away.
It does work. It
By
does work.
my beard.
So the next hero is Gimli. So Gimli is a very cool hero in this mod. We'll get to that in a sec why. So he gets an axe throw, just a powerful range attack, good against heroes and single units. He gets a leap attack, self-explanatory, does a lot of damage in a small area. He gets Destroyer. This is kind of like a Blade Master. He deals 200% more damage, gains 50% speed, and he now deals splash damage.
Yes, that concludes negotiations.
And then he gets this ability.
I suppose you think you're the one
So this is to be used against enemy units. They lose 50% armor, but they gain 25% damage and fear. And I think this is how it works. They kind of like only focus Gimli. Alright, and once he gets Mithril Armor, he gains a completely... He gets this cool, unique set of abilities on the right side. So, the first ability, nearby requires level 3. Nearby enemies become feared, and Gimli becomes resistant to chop, stab, and arrows for 15 seconds. I think that is probably swords, pikes, and arrows. And then each time he uses it, the duration is increased. So first time 15, then it keeps on increasing by 15 until the 4th time lasts a minute long. And then once you activate an ability, it's going to show up in the Palantir over here until you use it.
I don't know what happened to my passing.
Okay. Elven Friend. So he summons Legolas.
I would like to fight alongside my friend.
There you go. Summons Legolas. You cannot control him, but he seems to be shooting arrows of incredible strength. I've actually not seen those arrows before.
We could pass through the mines of
And then the last ability
my cousin
requires level 10.
welcome.
All dwarven heroes near Gimli cause temporary area damage. I wonder if that has a unique effect on him.
Oh.
Keep your wits about you.
Nobody understood the qualities of stone better than the dwarves of old.
Okay. I think that gives him a speed
Every
increase.
dwarf was a volunteer and knew he would.
Oh, that's a cool effect, and let's see. Not sure what it does. But anyway, the other two abilities are very good. Now, let's get to the faction leader, King Dain.
You'll be safe in my company.
So this guy has many abilities. Kind of like how Ring Sauron had many abilities. He's got 4 passives here. So for the first one, allied infantry and cavalry near Dain gain 10% armor, damage, and 50% experience gain. As long as he's on the battlefield, units and heroes of the inn. This affects inn units. They are cheaper. The next leadership is another leadership. This just says allies. Allies near King Dain gain 20% armor damage. And then nearby allied units gain resistance to fear and terror. And then when he gets mithril armor, he gains obviously the armor increase, and then he gains another ability here. So but anyway, Dain's chosen ones. Dain can use this on any unit, I believe, and it basically just puts him at maximum level. Only works on 1 battalion though, so and it's got a fairly long cooldown. It's got Mighty Rage. This is a heal, and then I believe, okay, any units that are affected by gain 50% armor and damage. We'll go over this in a sec. We got Defend the Halls.
The ring has been dropped.
So any units that are next to a dwarven building actually become invulnerable for 30 seconds.
Come together. To your places. I stand as your king.
Great personal wealth. Oh, no, I skipped ability. Red Axe. So, basically this is a weapon switch. Anytime Dain attacks, he'll just, okay, yes. Anytime Dain attacks while this is active, he will just heal allies next to him. Great personal wealth. You gain 3,000 resources, and then if units are near the building, they gain mithril armor. At level 10, he gains the Summon Royal Guard. So basically, you get a free army. All of these are permanent. You get battle wagons, catapults, a siege hammer or an earth hammer, and then you get these guys, the Dwarven Defenders. These are also quasi-elite units. They gain a block formation, where they gain armor, can't be knocked over, but they lose damage and speed. And then they get the standard Dwarven upgrades, but you get this unique ability, level 2, where they can actually paralyze enemy units in a short radius for 8 seconds.
Attack! You'll be safe in my company.
Now back to Dain. This ability, what you get after you unlock Mithril. This is a unique building, specifically for this Dain, and you can basically just summon units from either of the other factions, and you gain access to their upgrades. You can also summon your units. Cool ability. You don't. By the time you get this, though, you don't really have need for the basic units anymore, but you can get the elite unit for each sub-faction, though, which is pretty cool. And you can summon anywhere, so you have that convenience of recruiting units right near the enemy if you want. So we're gonna put Dain back in the mine shaft. So for this next ability, he gets at level 6. He gains this ability. This is specifically only to this Dain. He can actually unlock some of the heroes from this from the mausoleum. Okay, So he can unlock Dwarven Legends, basically. You get King, you can summon King Thor and/or King Thrain. And then they each gain their own, they each have their own unique abilities. I guess we'll go over Thor. This one's Thor, yeah. These guys are temporary, but they last a long time, though. I think they each last like 10 minutes, so that's quite a long time for a temporary hero. So he has a leadership. Allied Dwarven Infantry and Cavalry around him receive 25% armor damage, and then he has a special mechanic. If he dies, nearby, or no, not nearby, all units on the battlefield actually gain 40% armor and 40% damage for 20 seconds. This ability, Protection of the Halls, kind of cool. Basically, if there is a tower like this near Thor, the tower will give dwarves 50% armor, but if not, it'll just give it to the fortress. In level 5, it gains invulnerability. Gonna need to level him up to show off the cool door ability.
Du hast selbst mitbekommen, dass einige unserer Clans mit Vorliebe gegen die Elben ziehen würden. In den Zeiten der schlimmsten Not darf nur die gemeinsame Herkunft, nicht das zwergische Geld.
Now I can actually show off the abilities. So that locked onto the fortress. Okay. Vulnerability, and then this cool ability called the Dwarven Door. So you can only use this on a barracks, a the forge, the mausoleum, or a mine shaft. We'll just put on the mausoleum. So basically, that gives the building a special ability, and then the ability allows, what's it? And you try. I think it makes it so units can't destroy the building. Yeah, I think it just makes it so the building is like permanently invulnerable or something. Or no, temporarily invulnerable. Yeah. So that's kind of cool. Unique failure ability. Level 10, he gains an ability that summons either Orcs of Moria and Azog, or he gains a lot of, or he grants a lot of money. Okay, so we got the Wealth of the Old Dwarves, which is the second option, and now we can permanently increase the resource generation of a mine. And I guess he gets this ability permanently. Alright. Let's use this ability again. I think I will have to make another one. Also, let's go pick up the Silmaril, because we will be needing that soon. Okay. Oh. Can you only use it once? I think you can only use it once, or only have one hero on the battlefield. Okay. That's balanced, I guess. Now, we shall go over the first stage power for dwarves. So, Army of the Past Ages, just like all the other ones, gives you access to first stage units. Let's let's build the Belagos Fortress, which was a ancient city of the dwarves in the first age, I believe. Let's put the Silmaril away because the light's blinding my eyes. Let's put it here, actually. You can take the Silmaril to either the fortress or the mausoleum. Doesn't matter. All right. So now we have the Belagos Fortress. It actually has different passives. I'm gonna turn down the music again a little bit. Alright, so it's got 4 passives. So all allies near the fortress heal faster. Nearby allied infantry and cavalry units gain speed, armor, damage, and experience. At level 2, allied structures in the fortress gain 75% armor. At level 2, okay, and at level 2, what's it called? All enemy infantry and cavalry near the fortress lose 50% armor. And then at level 4, you actually recharge the spellbook powers 25% faster. At level 5, you get a rebuild. This is rebuild. Now let's go over the units. You get these guys at level 1, the blacksmiths. These are heroic units, I believe. Yep, heroic units, so they deal hero damage, and then they grant leadership to units near them. They gain experience faster, and then they gain 20% resistance to magic damage. And at level 6, they grant structures 50% resistance to siege damage. At level 4, they grant experience to units, and then at level 7, they grant a structure permanent 500 health. We got when you're on super high settings, these guys are pink for some reason. I promise you, these guys are not pink, but pink normally. Anyway, you get these Dwarven Goat Riders, or Belagos Riders. They're riding goats. They are elite cav. They are much tankier than most cav units in the game. They have 2200 health per unit. They do a lot of damage. They gain an armor upgrade level 5, and they gain active ability level 7, where they can deal 50% damage, gain 50% armor.
Let's get going. Keep up now.
And then lastly, level 3, we get to the Belagos Warriors. These guys are elite units. They have an absurd amount of health. They have 2400 health per unit. They are very, very tanky and do a lot of damage. They get a charge attack at level 2, armor upgrade level 5, and level 7 they gain a debuff, and they reflect different types of damage. But the debuff is kind of crazy. Enemy infantry units that are like near them lose 85% armor. So if you manage to get these guys to level 7, they will provide one of the strongest debuffs you can have.
How about some heads to fast?
It's almost like if they were to just deal double damage by default. And then we got the Dwarven heroes of the first stage. We got Azagal, the Lord of Belagos.
The rights of the faceless ones. Looks like it's just you and me.
And then we got Talakar,
Your generosity be returned to you.
who was the greatest blacksmith. I believe he forged what is it?
Back to the mine.
He forged Angrist for Baron in the the children, or just the first stage. And then I believe he also forged Narsil, if I'm remembering my lore correctly. Okay. So let's go over Azagal first. He has a leadership level 1, infantry and cavalry units near Azagal gain immunity to knockback, fear and terror, and then they gain experience 3 times as fast. At level 3, it causes enemy units to flee in terror.
Perfect. Seems fair.
Damn straight. No problem.
One battle is hardly the war.
At level 5, he gets a slam ability. It's honestly not much of a slam. He just does a damaging strike. It deals a lot of damage and it knocks back enemies. At level 8, though, he gets this really cool ability. So in a very small radius,
Seems
I
fair.
think I'll just put him in the mine, actually.
Aye, my pleasure.
You stop. My blade is swifter.
Okay.
One battle is hardly the war. Perfect. Seems fair. Looks like it's just you and me.
Not that much damage, but then again, those are vets.
Stand and
And
face me.
then, as I said, his level 8, he actually does quite a lot of damage in a small radius. And then if there are heroes within the radius, they actually get paralyzed for 10 seconds.
Your magic cannot harm me.
And then level
No more need I
10,
death.
he gains an insane ability.
Time is upon us.
So this affects heroes and units. Again, 50% armor, 75% damage, 35% speed, and immunity to knockback.
Haste to the swift, the spoils.
Also affects himself. So now he's doing, well, he's getting buffed by Telkar, but he's doing almost 2,000 damage. Speaking of Telkar, so he has a leadership level, and this is only for structures though. They gain 100% armor. So this is unique to dwarves. Their buildings are already tanky, and then he makes them even tankier. He gains a buff at level 2 for units. Gives them 50% magic resistance to magic damage, and then it can't be nullified. At level 6, he gains ability where he can make structures. I think it's across the map. Maybe it's just a large radius. But basically, he makes them immune to damage for like 30 seconds, I think. At level 8, he gains an active debuff. Yep. And then they lose 25% armor and 50% damage for 30 seconds. And then he has a leadership at level 10, so this affects allied units and heroes. They gain 100% armor and 30% damage.
I'll lead the way. My pleasure.
Alright, so that's pretty much it for all the unique Erebor stuff. We'll go over the Vala Auli, who is the smith of the first, the Smith Valar, and teacher of Kfanor, Myron, and Kurumo.
Fear not, my friends. Our guardian is here. I carry a hammer.
So Auli, he's got 2 Palanters of abilities. He has a leadership here at level 1.
Forward without fear, my friends.
So this leadership, so nearby units next to Auli gain 50% armor and immunity to pierce, chop, and siege damage. So basically immunity to arrows and catapults. This is a global leadership. All mines on the map produce double resources, and then he also reduces the cost of heroes by 80% if you are missing any heroes. He gains this ability. He has this ability, Hammer. So this one is an AoE attack that's specifically good against units.
For justice.
And then, actually, wait, no. That's good against. That's better against buildings. My apologies. That's actually a good ability to use against buildings, and it's okay against units. But this ability is specifically good against units. Yeah, that's got a much wider radius. And then he gains this ability. This is an active ability. So for him, he gains 700 damage. He deals greater splash damage. Has 200% armor. He gains 50% speed, 50% attack speed, and it lasts for a minute. And also during this time, all the first stage dwarf units are healed every time he attacks. That's a lot for one ability.
For your glory.
Alright, so this ability, Quicksand, this is an incredibly powerful stun attack, but he does have to go like right next to the area where you want it. This lasts for about 40 seconds, I believe, and basically this affects heroes and units, so it just stuns them in place for as long as this lasts, which I believe is, like I said, 45 seconds.
justice.
Okay.
Judgment.
Let's actually activate that. We need the speed buff.
For all your transgressions, you shall pay.
Okay.
For your glory.
So for this ability, Stone Columns, he summons 4 columns.
I stand ennobled. I bring the light.
Alright, and so these columns, they're on a timer. I think it's about 8 seconds. After the 10 seconds, the columns collapse, and they do insane damage to buildings. So we just killed 2 fortresses.
I carry a hammer. For justice.
And then lastly, he gets Earthquake. I'm pretty sure it's the same as the spellbook Earthquake. Yeah, that's Aule, the Smith God, destroyer of buildings.
As you will.
And that. Hey guys, I was about to go over something, but then the amount of sim rolls caused my computer to have an epileptic seizure, so the game crashed. But anyway, I was about to go over the sim roll hero, but I forgot to do one thing. I forgot to go over King Brand. So in this version, King Brand is a hybrid hero, or he's in all versions, in Vanilla too. He's a hybrid hero. He gains a sword and a bow. In his archer form, he gains like 3 different arrows and a buff. So for the first arrow, he fires a target, and then for a long time, the target loses 66% armor and damage. At level 3, he deals double damage for 30 seconds. At level 2, he gains Slam Shot. This is the same as Vanilla. It's just an arrow that does splash damage, knockback, and then if it hits enemies, or if it's enemy monsters, the monsters flee. This is a pin, and then it's also just like a really powerful arrow. So he pins it. It's a powerful arrow, deals splash damage, deals knockback. If it's used on a hero, the hero's stunned for 12 seconds.
Forward.
Okay, once you switch to the sword, you gain the ability to summon his Falcon. And the Falcon reveals stealth units. And I think it just I think it goes around, bro. Can it move by itself? Okay, yeah. Goes by itself, reveals the area. It's really fast. Okay. But I think if you just leave it unattended, it'll just like follow a brand in a circle or something. Yeah, okay, it does. He gains a leadership at level 3. This only affects the Men of Dale, or the Men of Dale units. They gain 25% armor, damage, and gain experience twice as fast. At level 6, he gains this ability called Range Expert. So nearby ranged units. This affects the archers for Dale, and I believe this also affects the Aglarond hunters and the axe throwers. And in himself, they gain 50% vision, 50% range, they gain experience, 300% faster. And at level 8, he summons, he gets this ability called Golden Age of Dale. So basically, this summons units from the campaign, the buildings and units from the campaign of this game. Okay, so yeah, these units called Raiders of the Border, they're just some cheap archers, kind of flavorful. You got a well. These are permanent, by the way, but these guys are temporary. These buildings are permanent, and then basically you get tall units, which is German for Dale. But these guys are actually different than these units. Once I upgrade the buildings, I will show that.
Ready, men? Let us prepare for this war. We've expanded the archery range. We've expanded the archery range. We've expanded the archery range.
So we got Dale swordsmen, spearmen, and archers, but these are the Golden Age of Dale units. This is basically Dale units before Smaug attacked.
Pick up your bows, men. Men of Dale.
Okay.
They may be near.
We've expanded the forge works. The mithril mail is ready. The new upgrade is ready.
Come together.
So we get the spearmen, and the swordsmen. Okay, so we have the Golden Age of Dale units. The Spearmen and the Swordsmen function similarly to the Dale units, but the Swordsmen do not get a formation. But they are cheaper. They do have less health though.
Spears out. Standard formation. Come together.
And then the archers function differently too. So they get bombard, and they get the black arrow.
Keep going.
And there's only 10 in a battalion, but I believe they actually just deal more damage. And then the arrow they shoot is actually much stronger too. So that's it for the last units and King Brand. Let's go over the Silmaril hero.
The
Durin.
bards will sing songs of brave deeds done well, and we will be the heroes of those songs.
Okay, so Durin the Deathless, the forefather dwarves. So he's a Silmaril hero, so he actually levels up to 20. He's got insane armor and stats. He starts with 6k health, 600 attack. I guess I'll go over a few of his, these two abilities real quick. So this is when before he's level 9. This is just what's it called? So basically, if he's about to die, he keeps on fighting for like 10-15 seconds, just like the other Iron Hills heroes, if you give them the Iron Determination buff. And then this, if you use it before level 9, it functions very similarly to the Mausoleum, the Rune of Power effect on the Mausoleum.
Keep your distance.
Once you hit level 9, these two abilities are changed.
Move. Close at the double. Move, move.
So,
Forward. Get into range.
he's got 2 Palanters of abilities, and they're all pretty insane
Move in quickly.
on the abilities he
Come
gets.
here to run at the side of
We'll save this for last. This is personally my favorite ability of his.
move.
He gets this ability called Durin Stone. So he summons a pillar, and it can't be attacked or destroyed. It just lasts permanently.
Keep your
But
distance.
the pillar gives infantry and cavalry units 25% armor damage. The effect can't be nullified. This ability, kind of similar to Thorin's axe ability. He just he picks a target and deals a lot of damage. It gets knocked back and also has AoE. This ability, kind of similar to Durin the Rune of Power ability,
Sun has risen.
but you can use it on the Mausoleum, and you actually get 2 different heroes. Or no, you still get Thor, but you actually get Thorin. So you get Thor, which we showed earlier. You get Thorin. This is kind of a spoiler for the when we do Ered Luin, but so we'll just show that you can get him, but we're not going to go over his abilities just yet. These abilities are pretty much the same as his Ered Luin. Yeah. These are all the same in his Ered Luin form, except the special mechanic. The special mechanic for him when he's summoned like this, also not to mention he's a permanent summon, is if he dies, you basically get treasure chests around the Mausoleum.
You can listen to
Oh, also, this guy is a permanent summon when summoned off of Durin.
Guard this area.
We need... We'll show off some abilities real quick.
The sun has risen.
Okay, so in this Palantir, we get Master of Stone. This is a buff for buildings or a debuff for enemy buildings. So if used on your building, you gain 75% armor damage. If used on enemy buildings, they lose 25% armor and 25% damage. He gets this ability level 5 called Word of Silence. This ability is pretty crazy. So this affects all enemies. In a wide area, they become paralyzed for like 30 seconds. If it's used by buildings, they also get paralyzed for like 30 seconds. If it's used by allied units and heroes, they get healed a little bit. They also rank up. slightly too. Let me get some units.
Who called for some guardian?
Who needs a
Keep
good
up now.
bashing?
Yeah.
Let's get going.
Guard this area.
What else? And then I think this gives you power points too. Let's get some units over here, and while we wait for that, we'll show off the accessibility.
Rally! Forward!
Oops, I didn't want them leveled up.
We're ready here.
How about some fighting? Guard our territory. Who called for some guardian? Who called for some guardian?
I won't be long.
Let's get going.
Hold
Okay.
this position!
Get in there. Get those balls
Eddie.
moving.
Alright. So the Word of Silence.
Leave me alone. We're here, laddie.
So yes, that did just give us a power point. This buffed the units.
What do you want?
I think it just makes them level up. Maybe it just makes them level up faster.
Come on, lads.
No.
Put your backs into it.
Okay, well it buffs them.
Many
And
cowards among
then,
our foes will pray for
as
the
you can see, they are all cowering in fear, and they're going to stay cowering in fear for a long time.
guard this area.
Or not. Maybe it's heroes that the paralyzed last for a long time.
March!
Anyway, he gets a leadership at level 7. Dwarven heroes gain 100% armor. This stacks with Telcars. And then he gets the same ability as Aule at level 10.
Move, move! Hurry, move!
Yeah.
Move in quickly! Forward!
So that's Durin the Deathless. He is one of the strongest Silmaril heroes in the
Come here to
game.
Run at the sight of blood.
And let's show off the final ability.
The world was young, the mountains green, no stain.
He summons the other his brothers or the other Durins, and he plays this awesome soundtrack.
Led on stream or stone when Durin woke and walked alone. He named the nameless hills and dells. He drank from yet untasted wells.
Dale must stand.
And looked in mirror and saw a crown of stars
Get it quick.
as gems upon a silver thread above the shadows of his head.
So yeah, just wanted to show that and let that play.
Formation.
That's a great song. Don't remember the name of the artist. I think it's like Clamavi Defundus. I'm probably butchering that.
Mention it. My pleasure.
Anyway, maybe YouTube will do me a favor and like note the song in the description. Anyway, that's Erebor. When we cover the other Dwarven factions, I'll probably just skip over the first stage because it's quite literally the same. There's no difference between that. Durin's a little bit different with the heroes he can summon, and that's it. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for showing interest. Hope you guys have a great day, and peace out, guys. Have a good one.